Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that nobody knows who you are. Not your friends, not your family, not your coworkers. Nobody. You call your mother. She answers. You say, "Mom, it's me." And she replies, "Sorry, who is this?" You rush to your best friend's house. They open the door, look at you, and see a complete stranger. The weird part? Nothing else has changed. Your photos still exist. Your messages still exist. Your name still exists. But every memory connected to you is gone. At first, this sounds like a science fiction nightmare, but hidden inside it is a disturbing question. If nobody remembers you, who are you? Because the answer is far stranger than most people realize. The ancient Romans had a punishment they considered worse than death. When someone became hated enough, they would try to erase them from history. Their names were removed from records. Their faces were scratched off statues. Anything connected to them was destroyed. It was called damnatio memoriae, the destruction of memory. The goal wasn't just to kill a person. The goal was to make it seem like they never existed at all. And that's strange, because a dead person is still remembered. But an erased person? That's something different. The Romans understood something most people never think about. Humans don't just live inside their own minds. They also live inside the minds of other people. And that creates a mystery. Why does being remembered matter so much? Think about how often people tell stories about themselves, who they are, what they do, what they've been through. Why? Why do humans care so much about being recognized? Not famous, just recognized. Imagine walking into a room full of people you've known for years, and nobody acknowledges you. Nobody talks to you. Nobody seems to notice you're there. Most people would feel uncomfortable within minutes. But why? After all, you're still the same person. Nothing about you has changed. Yet somehow it feels like something important is missing. It's almost as if part of your identity exists outside of you. And that's where things get strange, because psychology suggests that's exactly what's happening. Researchers have discovered that humans learn who they are partly through other people. You think you're funny because people laugh at your jokes. You think you're kind because people treat you as kind. You think you're trustworthy because people trust you. Over time, these reactions become part of your identity. Now imagine removing all of them. No friends, no family, no coworkers. Nobody reminding you who you've always been. Would you stay the same? Maybe at first. But over time, something would begin to drift. The roles that define you would disappear. The stories people tell about you would disappear. The version of yourself reflected back by others would disappear. And suddenly, a frightening question appears. How much of who you are was built entirely on your own, and how much was built together with everyone around you? The deeper scientists looked into human behavior, the more uncomfortable the answer became, because identity isn't something you create alone. It's something that's constantly being reinforced by other people, every day, without you even noticing. Most people imagine their identity as something locked inside their head, a solid object, a fixed thing. But that's not really how humans work. Your identity is more like a network. Part of it lives in your memories. Part of it lives in your habits. And part of it lives in other people's memories of you. That's why being ignored hurts. That's why rejection feels painful. That's why losing important relationships can feel like losing part of yourself. Because in a very real sense, you are. The person you think of as you wasn't built in isolation. It was shaped by thousands of conversations, thousands of reactions, thousands of moments shared with other people. So if nobody knew who you were anymore, you wouldn't just lose recognition. You would lose a piece of the structure that helps hold your identity together. And that's what makes the idea so unsettling. Maybe the question was never, what if nobody knew who you were? Maybe the real question is, how much of you exists because other people remember you? We spend our lives trying to become somebody. But deep down, what most people really want is much simpler. to be seen, to be remembered, to matter to someone. Because humans were never meant to exist completely alone. We're connected to each other in ways we rarely notice. And perhaps that's the strangest truth of all. The person you call me doesn't live only inside your mind. A part of that person is scattered across every life you've ever touched,